Hey y'all, Stacy here. I'm excited to share with you something a little bit different today. I bet a lot of you do this too, but in case you've never seen it, this is how I use my electric kettle to get the last little bits of wax up out of my jar candles. I've done the first steps on this pumpkin cold brew, and I'm going to move on to this cinnamon vanilla candle. Both of these are from Homeworks. Essentially, after I've extinguished the candle in the last melting cycle that a candle has for me, I pour the boiling water from my kettle into the dish, and then I allow it to cool completely. And so this is completely cool, and you can see here, I'm just making sure it's fully completely cool. And there you can see what happens is the wax will just lift up, like it leaves you with just the little metal wicks down there in the bottom, and you have this nice kind of thin layer of wax, and it's completely lifted up. Now there's still going to be little tiny bits that I'm going to have to scrub out, but the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to pour this water off, and I do always make sure that I don't pour this off into plumbing or any sort of a drain. And then I'm going to just go ahead and take you through the whole process, which I find you do have to be very careful with these because these can be sharp. Sometimes I will need to use a tool or a little spatula or something, but typically for me, these just kind of slide off after they've been kind of sat in this boiling water for a while. That's not always the case, but most of the time I don't have to apply too much force, and I can just kind of lift these candles out. Now, there was, I'm not sure if you could tell, but a little bit of fragrance oil in that boiling water, and there's still just a little bit of wax along the side. However, I am going to chop up that little wax sphere here and use it because I do find that I'm able to still get a bit of life out of that wax after I remove it. So I am just going to really quickly grab my chopper and chop this up. Now, I'm probably only going to get about 2 warmers out of this, and it won't be full throw like the candle was providing, but I just do find this to be nice. And I am actually replacing both of these candles with another one of both of these candles. I have really enjoyed burning these two Homeworks candles together. I think they're great. They're lovely. So why not just try and get as much life out of this fragrance as I possibly can? I do think, again, though, that's probably only going to be about 2 warmers, and I'll definitely only get a day out of it, but it's not very much wax. It's just the very little tiniest bit of wax. Now, back to the jar itself. Today, I am going to be using my Scentsy Swipes to clean out my jar. I love this Johnny Appleseed fragrance in the Scentsy Swipes. I don't typically just buy Scentsy Swipes. I got those in the whiff box, but I would absolutely pick them up as like a half price item. I have really enjoyed the Scentsy Swipes in general. I haven't run out of them, and I feel like I've either gotten them, I think I've gotten them all in whiff boxes. I may be wrong about that, but for me, I like that they're not antimicrobial, so they're not like a Clorox wipe, but they do a great job of cleaning up surfaces and messes. I have one roll that I keep in my car, and then I've really been enjoying them as an option to clean up candle jars and sometimes even my wax warmers. I will say also my chopper, I do enjoy using it to clean up my chopper as well because it has just enough moisture on there, I feel like, to really cut through kind of these waxy sort of situations without, overdoing it. Now, other things that you could use to do this, I think, would definitely be like Dawn or Dawn Power Wash. But again, always be careful not to be cleaning wax around your pipes. You don't want to get wax in any sort of a plumbing in your home. So I love this for that. Also, not to forget the wonderful hand sanitizer. Any hand sanitizer is also really great at cutting through wax. That did a great job. So I am going to be keeping this outer label on this, but I am going to go ahead and take off the bottom label. I am going to need to go get my hair dryer to finish this, but I think it's well worth it because even though these labels are hard to take off, you can take the bottom label off as well as the wraparound label using the same process. And these jars to me are just lovely. They're squat and they have this nice lid. So I think it's kind of worth the hassle of removing the labels if you need to. Hello. Oh, look, can you see? I told you you're on a yardstick and I'm recording this on my cell phone. There's my cell phone, guys. So I am going to step away though and go and get my hair dryer. I do love this label and I've really enjoyed this fragrance. This cinnamon vanilla really surprised me this year. It's a beautiful one. Okie doke, I am back. I have my hair dryer with me and we are going to take this bottom label off. Now, it is going to get a little loud. We'll see how well this noise canceling microphone works. I do have my little Scentsy spatula here that I'm going to use to kind of pry up the label a little bit. I imagine this is going to take me a bit of time to do. So I am just kind of trying to go along the edges and then kind of evenly all over the label from the outside edges to the center and then back again. I have yet to do this successfully, like on the first go. So I imagine that I am going to kind of scrape and claw my way through the first time that I give this a try, and then hopefully by the second or third time that I stop. Um, it doesn't seem like it's lifting very much, but it is definitely getting a little looser, I can tell. So I'm just going to take the edge of my spatula and try and not wreck my nails, which I always wreck my nails. Who are we kidding? I have always heard that the thing is to try and get it consistently warm, but with labels that are larger like this, I find it very hard to do that until you have like some little indent going. So I always try and focus on kind of getting a section to lift, and then typically I end up getting it to pull, usually in one or two goes, but of course, because I'm recording this, it's probably going to be brutal. We shall see. All right, let me just give this a try and see. Yeah, see, it's really stuck. And I can see that there's like a layer of adhesive that's still under there. So I am probably going to need more than my Scentsy swipe to get this kind of the level of clean that I want. I still have that one little piece of Scentsy swipe over there, but you see how it's kind of got, well, I'm not sure if you can see, but there's like a little layer of adhesive that's definitely not pulling right up with it. So I am probably going to use a little bit of baking soda when I get this sticker up. Hopefully though, this is gonna come up pretty quickly and then I'll be able to just, with a little bit of baking soda and my Scentsy swipe, be able to just kind of get all of that adhesive bit up. I have found that to be pretty consistently the case. I do think it's important to remember if you are candle crocking, like if you have one of those candle crocks, all of those advise you to remove any sort of stickers and the adhesive from the bottom of your candle. So, ooh, yay, it's working out, guys. This is good news. So, but I think you can see how it's kind of cloudy looking. That's all still adhesive, like not just this little paper bit, but there's like kind of white adhesive that's still stuck on the glass there. And I am going to need to use some baking powder. But like my candle crock, now this candle is too wide to fit in a candle crock. But if you are candle crocking, the instructions on any of them that I have seen have always said that you need to take these bottom labels off before you set the candle in the candle crock itself. So that is just kind of a thing to be aware of. Now I'm going to use this second Scentsy swipe that I had set aside. And yeah, I am correct. This is very much it, even though it feels like it's kind of smooth, it's not super tacky to the touch. I know that I can get this off with just a little bit of effort because it's coming off even just with the Scentsy swipe. So, but I'm not going to put myself through that. I'm going to go grab a little bit of baking powder, and I think I see here, yeah, I got a little bit of that stuff that sticks the wick to the center of the candle. That was still down there, so let me just get that. And then I'm going to go grab some baking powder and sprinkle that on the top here, and that's going to make short work of that, even just with the Scentsy swipe. So here we go. I'm just going to sprinkle a little bit of baking powder here, and get to kind of scrubbing. I do try and go in many directions. So I'm going to try and go in a circular pattern and then kind of up and down and then the other way around. But I typically don't need more than like a tablespoon to do this. And I'm able to get, you know, yeah, this is going to work. So we're not going to need anything more than this, I don't think. Just a Scentsy swipe and a little bit of baking powder. Or not baking powder, y'all, this is baking soda, like Arm& Hammer baking soda. This is just a really good resource, I think. If you know, you know, baking soda does so many different things. And you can see, I think now that it's coming up and you can kind of see it highlighted by the baking soda, you can see how much of that adhesive, even though really to the touch, I could not feel it. It was not like gripping or sticking to my hand. So, and again, this isn't one that I could have ever put in a candle crock, but you definitely want to make sure you're not putting something like that down in a candle crock if you do use those. I find myself tending to use candle lamps or just actually lighting my candles with the wick as they kind of are made. But I really do love candle lamps and candle crocks. I think they're wonderful for helping extend the life of candles and also just kind of giving another option if you don't want to have an open flame, but you do want to have that candle. It's really nice. So, yes, see, this has worked out really well. So, I have gotten this label off. Now, again, with this one, because I do love the little cinnamon rolls wrapped around this, I am going to keep the outer layer on this because I do think I'm going to just put a little battery operated votive in here and allow it to be kind of ambiance in the same room where I'm going to be melting the new one of these candles that I have. I just really do love this fragrance. This and pumpkin cold brew, I think, are my two favorite fall candles this year. But yay! So we are all done, and you can see it's nice and clean and clear. And I feel like even when I do decide to remove this outer layer, this jar is going to just be very useful. So I hope this helped, and I'd love it if you'd subscribe to my channel and hit that notification bell if you haven't already. Thank you so much for watching, and let me know, how do you get the wax out of your candles when you're done with them? And do you repurpose your candle jars? If so, what do you use them for? Thanks so much for watching.